Neil said, there's one of us in each of the faculties, so I work in art design and humanities. Today, what I was going to talk to you about was I was going to share with you our framework for technologies for UDL. And I thought, I've actually got too many things here, but I want you to put your hand up if you've really seen it, because I know all of our works integrate, and I don't want you to watch something twice. I've got a video, and if you've seen it before, put your hand up, okay? Also, I've got a very strong accent. I'm trying to speak slowly, and put your hand up if you can't understand me. So, the idea is a whirlwind tour of our technologies for UDL. I can't tell you everything, so I'll try to squeeze it in 20 minutes and give you an activity where you can see how we worked out, how we would translate our approach to staff and to help them sort of make their way around the technologies. Like you, do you use a virtual learning environment? Does anybody use Blackboard?
No. Your learning service, Moodle.
Moodle, but you use the virtual learning environment. And what I'll do is, if I've got time at the end, I can show you a little bit, but Rob's going to show some examples of Blackboard and the flipped classroom. So I'm going to mainly talk a bit about the technologies, and if I've got time, I'll show you how DMU Replay works on our lecterns, okay? So that'll be squished in. You can have the PowerPoint slides. I've got some handouts, so you don't need to take everything down. Okay, so you will have heard the background to our, I suppose, our focus on technologies to support UDL started with DMU Replay, which is where we record sessions that are led by staff. That would have been about 2 years ago. And then following that, we're trying to make all of our technologies a bit more accessible and trying to make it easier for staff to work with the UDL framework. So that's what I'm going to sort of talk about today, a little bit about the project. Have you seen this? Oh, all right. It's been on just as well, you see, I'm ready. Have you seen this video?
No.
Right. This is our colleague, and she is a UDL champion. And it's just in this particular extract, I'm only going to show you a bit of it, so about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But she describes the 3 main principles behind UDL. And what we've done is we've tried to think, well, what does each of these principles mean? And we've tried to give some guidelines for staff for each of the principles. So there's 6 or 7 guidelines per principle. And then we go on to look at the technologies that might support those. Our focus is purely on, I suppose, planning and anticipatory preparation, rather than saying you have to use this technology. The only thing we do use quite consistently is DMU Replay. So this is my colleague, and she's just starting at this bit to talk about the 3 different principles.
Come to university from a huge range of different backgrounds and with an enormous variety of different experiences and prior knowledge. Every student is unique, and as such, every student learns in a unique way. Universal Design for Learning recognises this and aims to create a learning environment that works for everybody and that will allow every student to succeed. The principles of UDL have arisen from decades of research about the way in which different people learn and were based on hundreds of different research studies. But at the core, UDL is really about embedding flexibility and options from the outset, which comes with enormous benefits to our students and our staff. UDL means that the way we teach should enable everybody to learn. The 3 key principles of UDL are all about making why we learn, what we learn, and how we learn accessible for everybody. Now let's take a look at these 3 principles in more detail. The first principle of UDL, the why of learning, is possibly the most important because it's all about inciting interest and motivation in our learners. It's about giving them the desire and the tools to engage with their learning and to become passionate learners.
I definitely feel more motivated to come to lectures when they're interactive because it's more engaging for the students. Like, you know, you're going to do something fun that's going to keep you switched on in the lecture, and it's something that I experienced before university, doing my A-levels at college or whilst at secondary school. Everybody learns in a different way. Even my twin have different learning styles and learning strategies, so if the topic's delivered in a variety of ways, you can decide what's correct for you.
The second principle of Universal Design for Learning, UDL, is about what students actually learn, the actual content, and specifically how they learn it as well. All students learn in different ways, and all lecturers have different content that they want to give to students, and it's important to have a wide variety of content and taught in different ways.
I think UDL has a lot of different benefits for students at DMU because you learn different skills you wouldn't necessarily get from written work or from essays. So things like getting involved in presentations, it forces you to work on your social skills, which is something that you can take with you once you graduate and you're out in the world working.
The final principle of UDL talks about the how of learning. What we're essentially doing is we're cooking up a choice for students. Instead of offering them a fixed menu, a restrictive diet of one type of teaching, learning and assessment, we're offering them a buffet. Everyone's going to choose a different selection, but everybody will get what they want, and hopefully they'll all be satisfied and have a fantastic experience.
Tools such as DMU Replay, which allow our students to access audio-visual content from their academic-led sessions, provide different means of picking up knowledge and flexible ways in which to show it off.
UDL is incredibly simple to incorporate. It just means consideration for the different ways that our students learn.
So, in very brief, this is the project that we're working on at the moment. It's basically, as Neil was saying, it's about enhancing digital capabilities. We've also got a part on horizon scanning, and some of the things I've been working on are creating not a set of prompts, but a checklist, so that if anybody is going to buy new technology or use a new technology, that we have some, I suppose, prompts for you to go work through and decide if you think that this is an accessible technology, and these sheets are quite long, and then we can work with the technical people as well then to find out, I suppose, further about the accessibility and that, well, work with other people. Embedding learning resources and assistive technologies. Now, assistive technologies, we've got a colleague coming in afterwards called Gina. Assistive technology, we don't really keep that apart, but there always will be some technologies that are only suitable for some people because of the learning curve to use them, for the cost of them. So Gina will tell you a little bit about the toolkit of the assistive technologies, but we try to sort of fit in with her, and we work with her quite a lot. So that would be all things like mind mapping and that sort of thing. So it's all about, as well, identifying barriers. And we've been showing you videos, and you maybe have this sort of issue as well. One of the big issues at the moment is about trying to get captions easily on videos. And we have, well, we've got, I think, something like 10 deaf students coming this year, so we have to be able to provide captions, and that's very, very time consuming for staff to do, because although the technology is quite good, it's not very accurate. So staff would have to actually sit and go through that bit by bit. So that's one of the things that probably will be coming next along the line for us. Right, I'm moving on to this here. So this is the 3 principles. What I was going to do is get you to do an activity, and basically it's very simple. Just to try and think of the technologies you have. You won't have the same technologies as us, but say for example, even if you think of social media, to try and say, well, where would we put this to recommend for staff? And sort of think, well, I would put a blog, say for example here, because, and think of the reasons. Afterwards, I'll share with you what we have done, and it might be useful for you, I suppose, in thinking about the accessibility around the use of technology. So this is just one little part, and then if we get time, I'll show you the technology on the lectern as well. So, can I ask, does anybody here work with technology directly?
Yeah.
Okay. This is only going to be five minutes, and I'm going to give you some stuff. Put two of them. Sorry, it's really small. I don't mind if you use it.
Будет нам 2. Всем хватило, да?